now welcome you into the Bearcat Sports Network broadcast booth as we get ready to go for tonight's matchup between the Kearney High School Bearcats and the Grand Island Islanders. My name is Mitchell. Alongside me tonight is Bridget, Cruz, Kyler, and Asher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think Kyler lost his headset. Either way.
We'll give him a headset.
Oh, I see one right next to me. We'll hand that down. Anyway, as Islanders are introduced, we'll run down their starters. A 6'3 junior, number 3, Mukoma, A 6'1, wearing number 4, Riley Plummer. 6'5 senior, number 10, Kazadi Mukoma. A 6'4 junior, Evan McDonald, number 15. And a sophomore, number 33, Barbara Schau. As we now get ready for Kearney's lineups, we'll wait a moment and give them their moment to play the hype video.
Well done, Mitchell, on those Grand Island starters. You did that well.
This is by far our best hype video. I think you just saw it leading into this.
I think it is.
We'll give that a second to play.
You know, not going to lie, Mitchell, I got chills from that. That is the way to get rolling for a basketball game. Let's go.
Let's meet the starting lineups for the Kearney High School Bearcats. At 5'10 junior, averaging 10.4 points per game, number 0, Carter Lee. A 6'4 senior, number 1, Jack Dahlgren. He leads the team in scoring with 16. A 6'1 senior back off of injury, averaging 6.1 points per game, number 5, Traven Beckman. A 6'5 junior, averaging 11.3 points per game, number 11, Asher Endorf. And right behind Jack Dahlgren with the top scorer, a 6'4 sophomore, number 44, averaging 14 points a game, Ben Johnson.
Well, Mitchell, it's almost tip-off time. Rivalry basketball, Class A, one of the most coveted and loved rivalries in all of Nebraska athletics. Grand Island versus Kearney. Last year, if I am correct, Kearney got the better of Grand Island with Isaac.
2 years.
With the past 2 years, Kearney has won it, but those past 2 years, Grand Island has had Isaac Trout. So this year, how will it be replacing Isaac Trout? Grand Island struggled a little bit, now 2-6, and if you don't know who Isaac Trout is, 1, where you been? And 2, he is now a starter on the Virginia basketball team.
Ben Johnson, three-pointer!
Lighting it up. So far, Ben Johnson getting the Rowdies something to cheer about.
Grand Island from the corner, no good. Rebounded by Asher Endorf. Pushing the pace. Jack Dahlgren, near wing, passes up that opportunity, drives inside, pump fakes, pushes it outside to Carter Lee. Back to Dahlgren. Dahlgren, three-pointer. He's got it.
Coming out with the
6-0 Bearcats.
2 straight three-pointers for the Bearcats, lighting it up early, in the Islanders stuck on an island, now down 6-0.
Three-pointer, no good. Defensive board by Carter Lee. Asher Endorf cuts inside,
and one as well. The gym is going wild, and you can see the parts where it's the Grand Island fans. They're just sitting there in silence, and you can't blame them. Kearney off to an 8-0 start, and they could make it 9 off the and one, and Kearney looking unstoppable early on.
What an atmosphere already. We're only a minute in.
9-0. Everybody getting involved here for this Kearney team, and 9-0 start.
Grand Island trying to get an answer as they have it now in the corner with Riley Plummer. He brings it up, gets to Mukama.
Grand Island at this point, you have got to score, at least do something positive offensively here to shift the momentum a little bit back in your favor. But right now, Uncle Mo is in the favor of Kearney.
Driving inside, he's blocked!
Oh, what a block.
Jack Dahlgren with the rejection.
The Rowdies are lighting it up so far, as well as Dahlgren.
Jack Dahlgren surveying the defense. Gets it over to Traven Beckman, over to Carter Lee. Lee taking his time, gets to Beckman at the top. Bearcats resetting. Carter Lee. Ben Johnson drives inside, takes the baseline, pulls on out, gets to Carter Lee, over to Beckman. Beckman, three-pointer. No good, just short.
That's the first miss right now. The Bearcats shooting 75%, 3 of 4 so far.
I can tell you, Kearney, this place would have gone nuts again had that three been made. Riley Plummer with it.
You would have seen this place shaking.
Plummer gets it back. Mukoma, excuse me. He gets that one. He puts Grand Island up on the board.
Yep, good bucket by Mukoma. That is what you got to do. Standing at 6'5", you have got to use that height and that skill advantage that you have, and he's going to have to be a high scorer tonight for the Islanders.
Beckman gets to Lee. Back to Beckman. Over back to Lee. Back to Beckman.
15 seconds left on the shot clock.
Dahlgren drives inside, kicks outside to Beckman. Three-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Ben Johnson. Out to Lee. Three-pointer. No good. Out of bounds off of Grand Island.
And heading back the way of the Bearcats, not happy about it. Getting the rebound, but it's flying out of his hands. That was Babur Showell.
Colt Straka now in. Not sure what there is to be upset about. To me, that was a very clearly
I would agree.
Out of bounds off him. Colt Straka in the corner. Gets to Ben Johnson, tightly guarded by Plummer. Picked away by Plummer. Fast break opportunity. He gets to fall.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. It
Ben
seemed
Johnson
like
just turned his back.
Yeah, Johnson turned his back, and before you know it, he was there with the easy layup.
Ben Johnson now has it, gets to Lee. A 3-2 zone. Timeout on the floor called by Coach Bronick. We've got a good one here in the first quarter. Bearcats 9, Islanders 4. It's a 30-second timeout. We're going to take a quick break. We're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network. And I knew this would happen, but it happened a lot quicker than I thought. A sign of the times for Grand Island. Already chanting, let's play football, because they can't contend with the Bearcats so far here in basketball.
Wow, shots already being fired.
From Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, you have to do it. Grand Island has not been real kind to us today already, even in the broadcast sort of things. Asher Endorf blocked away on the floor. Jump ball. It'll go with the Islanders. Asher Endorf blocked on that one.
Yeah, good effort play. First of all, Mukoma, that's a big, Mukoma. That is a big time effort from him for the block, and then the Islanders getting it back with a chance to score.
Plummer with it. Excuse me, Marsh with it. Colton Marsh. Three-pointer. No good. Straka with the defensive board. Dahlgren. Ben Johnson. Covered tightly by Showell. Jack Dahlgren with it. Inside to Endorf. Three-point line is where Ben Johnson is off of Albers.
Yep. Good call there. The ball, yes, it did hit that Kearney player once he had it out of bounds, but he was already out of bounds at that point. So they're really, I guess, the ball, what am I trying to say? The ball had already hit out of bounds and the play was dead.
Ben Johnson takes that lob, catches back up. Grand Island in a 2-3 zone. Colt Straka fighting for the ball.
Whoa!
All over him.
Yeah, Kearney seeing success in the zone playing 2-3, and they're playing it well. They're able to spread out that Kearney offense, and Kearney a little bit uncomfortable from what they started like.
Grand Island wanting something about a shot clock. I'm not sure where it's at. It was at 20 seconds when they blew the whistle.
No, it was all the way down to 1. They reset it to 20.
Oh. I could see that being a bit of an issue. Shot clock, though, first time it's ever been installed this year. This is the first experimental year. And Mitchell, you've been here all these games, but have there been a lot of these moments, I think, just trying to figure it out?
Not like this. I've never seen an issue like that.
Yeah, and it's a tough issue because in high school you can't go back and review it like they can in college, so it's just, I guess it's just kind of whatever the ref rules.
He's still looking for an explanation. They gave him one already, and it looks like they'll go back to have another conversation with him.
Yeah, and I could see where he's coming from. If that clock was at 1 and then they reset it to 20, they probably reset it to 20 thinking Kearney would have the ball and retain it. But
it gets reset to 35 no matter what.
Yeah.
Every time it hits the rim. Again, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Was not looking at the shot clock.
Yeah. At some point when we all get instant replay, that'll be helpful.
Colt Straka driving inside. He's blocked.
Yeah, big block by Kearney.
Kearney getting back.
Bodies are just getting thrown.
And that is a
Out
charge
here.
call.
Yep.
Carter Lee gets called for a charge.
So right now we saw the momentum in Kearney's favor at the beginning of this game, but now the favor is starting to dwindle in the way of the Islanders. They're still down by 5, but a couple big defensive plays. And once we see some offense start to filter in too, this could really turn into Grand Island speeding it back up, but travel there, it's going to avoid that.
As now it'll be on the near sideline that they will get to start. Carter Lee getting one final explanation from the ref just to make sure he clearly understands. Beckman with it. Asher Endorf outside to Lee. Fakes the three-pointer, backs things off, gets to Beckman. Endorf. Beckman. Fakes the three-pointer, gets it outside to Endorf, inside to Dahlgren. Dahlgren double teams, gets to Endorf, Beckman, now Lee. Three-pointer, no good. Asher Endorf there with the offensive board. Doesn't get it to fall the second time.
Right now, Kearney, they got to do a good job. If the threes are not falling, you got to start going inside, and then you got to make your bunnies.
That's one thing that Kearney's going to work on. I know Verona takes all the credit when it comes to something not working on offense. As someone who spent the time with them in the locker rooms, getting to listen in on those post-game conversations after the hack tourneys, he took full credit when Kearney wasn't able to perform quite like they should have offensively. And he's like, it's on us. We didn't find something for you that works for you. As there's another turnover by Kearney. And one.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, if you're Kearney there, that's a foul you look at and you think to yourself, was that really necessary? Or should I, like, if you were planning on fouling him, you want to foul him a little bit earlier so then that doesn't happen when you miss the block and you still get the foul into the end one. It's just iffy play, and that's going to be something you look back at in film and realize probably a bad idea.
9-6 in favor of the Bearcats. Islanders on a cold stretch.
You mean the Bearcats?
Sorry, my bad. 9-7. I got a whole bunch of confused looks all of a sudden. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. It makes sense in my head as that's another turnover. That's another layup. Kearney needs to get these turnovers under control as there's some full court pressure coming.
Yeah, the full court pressure working well for the Islanders right now, and Kearney just seems to not have an answer.
Knocked out of bounds. Kearney needs to find something here. We'll wait for the inbound. 25 seconds left on the shot clock.
Minute 53 left in this first quarter. My goodness, Mitchell, has it been an exciting one.
Beckman with it, gets to Lee. Over to Beckman, back to Lee. Driving is Lee, now now Johnson. Outside by Dahlgren. Inside to Endorf, back outside to Dahlgren. Over to Lee, three-pointer. No good.
And once again, if you're Kearney, the threes aren't falling, so you have got to start looking inside for some shots.
No good on that one. An offensive board, though, for Plummer. 3-point opportunity. No good. 9-9. We're tied up here in Kearney. Over to Beckman, now to Johnson. Johnson thought about three-pointer. Pump faked instead. Dahlgren has it on the near wing. Beckman. Over to Lee. Back to Beckman. Back to Lee. Over to Dahlgren in the corner. Kearney taking their time, having to work against this 2-3 zone. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Dahlgren drives outside to Endorf. Pump fakes, drives inside. And that's a charge.
Going the other way. Coach is not excited about that call whatsoever for Kearney.
Connor Bronick making his voice heard, voicing his displeasure.
The 2-3 zone for the Islanders, it is working pretty well. The
It
Bearcats
is.
haven't found anything inside.
The 2-3 zone, well, and that's just such a big part of the Bearcats' offense is that inside game.
Three-pointer, no good. Outside, knocked out of bounds, Kearney ball.
Yep. But you said it best, Asher. This inside game such a big part for Kearney, but this dynamic 2-3 that Grand Island is running, it is giving Kearney fits, and Kearney has got to get over the cold here soon.
9-9, 31.1 seconds left. Kearney organizing their offense. Dahlgren with it. Shot clock is turned off. Ben Johnson gets it. Goes through the pressure. Outside to Endorf. Does not get that pass completed.
And Kearney just looks a little bit rattled right now and uncharacteristic. We saw this with the girls a little bit earlier on in their game today, and then yesterday we saw it as well. But the girls, they made a good adjustment. So the question is, can the boys bounce back after a bit of a frustrating first quarter for Kearney?
Kearney had that amazing start, 9 unanswered. And now they have to figure out something as the Islanders turned around and got 9 unanswered themselves with 13.6 seconds left here in the first quarter. We're tied at 9.
Yeah, Grand Island now on a 9-0 run, and Kearney hasn't scored in a while. Would you say those 9 points probably scored all within the first 3 minutes of this game?
Definitely. Maybe even 2.
Maybe even 2, yeah. So they've gone 5 or 6 minutes, Kearney, without scoring a bucket, and that's disheartening for a basketball team.
I'm going to come back to something that Mitchell said in the previous game. Basketball's a game of runs. Kearney with a 9-0 run, and then Grand Island with a 9-0 run.
Exactly.
And no good on that buzzer beater attempt. We're tied at 9 here in Kearney, Nebraska. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. We'll be back in just a moment.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. An interesting fact talked about between the interview with Austin Jacobson and the head coach of Grand Island is they referred to Carter Lee as the best on-ball defender in the state. High praise from the Islander head coach. And I would certainly agree that he can take away that defense as he gets the block right there.
Ooh.
And that he gets the emotional foul called back on him. Colton Marsh.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. Marsh before, he got a couple of steals and he got those buckets, and the biggest thing with those buckets was he was jawing after every single one of them. So obviously an emotional game, and Marsh letting his emotions get the best of him on the foul.
Yes.
Dahlgren with it. Gets to Beckman. Over to Johnson in the corner. Now to Dahlgren. Dahlgren working inside. Kicked out to Johnson. Three-pointer.
Oh.
No good. Beckman gets the offensive board. Carter Lee pump fakes. Gets to Endorf. Endorf drives inside. Gets to Johnson. Three-pointer. No good.
Kearney just has got to find something inside or some way to break this 2-3 because Grand Island right now having all the success in the world in it.
They've got to find something because Kearney currently is just sitting on the outside perimeter. Pass no good. Out of bounds off of Grand Island. Took it and dove out of bounds with it.
Good defense by both teams, but the big thing right now is whose offense is going to light up and get going faster.
You know, it's not often that we say this, but this is, like a defensive showdown in football. Like there's
really
no
is.
offense and just a lot of defense.
I absolutely agree.
Kearney's got to, again, work away, get inside that 2-3 zone. I guarantee by the time second half rolls around, they would likely have something done with that. Halftime, it gives them a lot of time to figure that out. Currently, they're just making a lot of those inside defenders useless as Lee has it, drives inside, kicks it out to Beckman. Three-pointer. No good.
And just like we said, yes, you hit the 2 threes, but you got to go back and you have got to focus on getting it inside. And if you're Kearney, just try different things. The three-point game is not working right now, so you got to stop shooting threes. You got to find different ways to penetrate, to kick out, to do anything you can.
And the issue Kearney faces is as soon as they get it inside, they get double-teamed and are forced to kick it out.
I don't think in this contest that Kearney has shot a ball inside of the three-point.
They have because they have the and one opportunity.
They do have the and one.
Yes.
Grand Island working things around the top. Marsh with it. Now over to Barrientos. Now to Mukoma. Three-pointer, airballed.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we thought the shot clock was a little bit later, but it was quite the heave on the three-point shot, and maybe he starts dribbling, he starts feeling good, but yeah, a questionable take and going to result in Kearney having the ball.
Last year against Isaac Trout, those shots went in all of the time. That is the best basketball player I have ever watched in person at the high school level. Deep three, Ben Johnson. No good. Ben Johnson's been able to hit quite a few of those in the past.
It was also a little bit of a different contest last year, a little bit higher scoring.
Just a little bit. An incredibly good game from last year.
Yeah.
Grand Island passing things around. Mukoma gets to Marsh. Marsh driving inside. Dahlgren gets the steal off the loose ball. Dahlgren driving inside. Doesn't get it to go. Lots of contact. Murray gets the steal. And that Dahlgren is taken down, but they'll say out of bounds. They'll say because it was a loose ball, it's Kearney ball.
Tempers are flaring between both these teams, the student sections, the coaches, and Mitchell. This is when you know it's going to be a good basketball game. When tensions are high, the stakes are loaded. Rivalry basketball, this is exactly what we wanted and more.
That's the game.
However, no one has scored in 5 or 6 minutes.
Look at the positive.
That is the games you love to see, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would disagree. I would like to watch a high-scoring game.
And especially with these two teams of rivalries, we have to see good amount of scoring.
Lee with it. Under 10 seconds. Dahlgren driving inside. Gets the two-pointer. Doesn't get it to fall. Murray gets the rebound. And that's a foul underneath.
Yeah, I was.
And that's where Kearney hits the three-pointer.
Yep, I was waiting for them to blow the whistle on it. That one, you get it down low, and that one you got to call because these refs, they got a tough job ahead of them. You can't call too many fouls, so we're here all night, but you got to call enough that the game doesn't get out of hand because we already know high tensions. It won't take much for that to happen.
Murray, a very aggressive game. Kearney trying a trap slightly on defense. Timeout. called by Grand Island. We're going to take a break as well. We're 4 minutes here into the second quarter. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network. That's a full timeout. We're tied at 9. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. We're still tied at 9. No scoring here in the second quarter.
Yeah, a bit of a standoff, and tempers are flaring. Colton Marshy walked back to his bench, got in the face of some of those Kearney coaches, and was jawing back and forth on a Marsh. Been running his mouth a lot tonight. He's talking the talk.
We'll see if he can walk the walk here. He has the ball.
I was really hoping you'd finish that, Mitchell.
We're good enough. We're good enough buddies for that.
Heck yeah.
And that gets it off, but no good.
Still 9-9. We ended the first quarter 9-9, didn't we?
Yeah, and it was like 9-9 with like 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, so it's been a long time without a score.
We scored 9 in the first 1 minute and have not scored since. Out of bounds off Grand Island.
That is quite the statistic for this game. None of us were really expecting that.
Now,
12 minutes is how long Kearney's gone without scoring a bucket. And starting off up 9-0. Everybody in this gym thought Kearney was just going to run away with it straight from the gun, but that was not the storyline.
And that'll be a foul underneath. I am really confused by this officiating today. Nothing had changed since when Dahlgren had gotten the ball, so I'm not sure what made him decide to want to call the foul then compared to when it happened, because it obviously was a foul.
They do also have a better perspective than we do.
Very true.
But he still had the same perspective. It happened for several seconds is what I'm saying. Dahlgren drives inside, loses the ball, picks it back up, and one.
That is the way to get your scoring going for Kearney.
11-9 now. That'll be Barber Schowell, his second foul, team's fifth foul. Colt Straka coming in. Jack Dahlgren at the line to shoot two.
Grand Island, you can't see it. Their student section using an interesting tactic. They start flashing their flashlights on their phones at the shooter. That's something I never thought about. That's not a bad idea to distract the shooter. It obviously worked.
As if that was the effect, we can give it to him that time.
Yeah,
I won't count on that working every time.
I'll give it to him that time.
Maybe if they brought like a brighter light, maybe?
I don't know if you can.
Well,
that's a good bucket, though.
I think the phone flashlight won't get it much. Lee drives inside, outside to Straka. Over to Dahlgren. Over to Ben Johnson. Three-pointer, deep three. You betcha! 14-11. Ben Johnson adds three more.
So after the nice bucket by Schowell, Johnson with a nice return.
Grand Island working things around. Marsh with it. In the corner now, driving inside. Schowell, no good. Bronick urging Kearney to pick up the pace. Pump fake, Dahlgren inside, blocked. A lot of contact, nothing called.
Yeah, the refs letting them play tonight. In a game like this, you call everything, you're going to be here all night. So They're going for the approach of let's let him play for as long as we can.
That's a travel. He's got to be careful slamming the ball on the court.
Yeah, good on-ball defense and obviously some frustration shining through.
14-11. 147. Both coaches having a conversation with the refs.
You know,
I have to say, I've never really paid attention to who opposing coaches, really. I can tell I didn't pay attention last year because I do not remember this guy's face at all. But,
he's excited.
I'm digging the outfit of him, too. The whole dress shirt and
Coaches
vest.
just look good. They look professional.
Thank you.
Asher Endorf driving inside to Colt Straka. Straka gets the ball at Lee. Lee's pass intercepted. Okama, his pass tipped out of bounds by Dahlgren.
So back to Grand Island once again, but after the big three from Johnson, obviously we saw Schauel hit the layup and then the three by Johnson, but a 3-point lead, and in any other game that wouldn't seem that big, but in this game, 3 points, it's a pretty big lead.
3 is a lot. As now Grand Island's trying to find something to do. Marsh with it. Gets it to Plummer. Plummer driving inside. No good. Ben Johnson's defense too much for him. Johnson. Now to Lee. Floater. No good. Rebounded by Mukoma, excuse me.
Mukoma nearly hit it back into the hoop for Kearney.
Endorf was there competing for it too. Mukoma. Two Mukoma brothers on the court. Straka playing good D. Into the corner. Mukadi, three-pointer. Out of bounds, off of Grand Island.
Let me tell you, it's been a battle of the boards tonight.
It has.
For sure.
Yeah, both teams playing hard, playing physical, and a battle of the boards. That's a good way to put it.
That's what you like to see, though, in these contests. Good physical contests, I'd say.
Dahlgren. Beckman gets it back to Dahlgren. Endorf driving inside. Passed out of bounds. 4 seconds left on the clock. Kearney in a likelihood situation to foul, to waste time as Krotzel's now in. Going to take out Beckman. Three-pointer. No good.
Shoot it. Oh, he could have shot it there.
It wouldn't have gone. It's a full court shot like that. We are in a deadlock here, I should say. It's tough to come up with words to this. Let's see. It was tied 9-9 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. We finished the second quarter with a score of 14-11. Grand Island put 2 points up in that quarter. We're going to go to halftime. We'll be back with the Dance Cats in a moment. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Halftime here from Kearney Bearcat Arena. What's it called? To 11 here at Kearney High School. Mitchell, that's something that we expected to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight Kearney High School would like to welcome another addition to the Kearney High Hall of Fame. Tonight it is the Norblake family. The Norblake family had great athletic impacts over its 40-year tenure at Kearney High School. Patriarch Paul served as head coach of the boys basketball team from 1976 to 1985. During that decade, his teams were conference champions in 1978 and district champions in 1981. Paul also coached freshman football and was an assistant basketball coach until he was promoted to the head position. Children Jeff, Jill, and Justin became the second generation to put the spotlight on the Norblake surname. Their multi-sport contributions were well documented. Jeff was a 9-time letter winner and Kearney High Hall of Fame inductee. He was an all-conference and all-state punter in football and a Nebraska Shrine Bowl participant. He was a basketball state qualifier, honorable mention all-state, a track and field 3-time state qualifier who set the school record in the discus and stood for 6 years. At Kearney State College, he was an all-conference safety, an NAIA All-American safety, and was inducted into the Kearney State College Hall of Fame in 2002. Jill was a volleyball all-conference and 3-time state qualifier. She was a basketball 2-time state qualifier and a track and field state qualifier. Justin was an 8-time letter winner. He was a football playoff qualifier and an all-state honorable mention. He was also a basketball 2-time state qualifier and an all-state honorable mention in track and field, where he was part of the state runner-up team champion twice and a high jump qualifier. He played college football at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. A third generation of Norblakes, Jill's daughters, Morgan and Macy Wick, kept the bloodline strong in blue and gold. Morgan was a volleyball letter winner, soccer all-conference, all-state honorable mention, part of 3 conference champion teams, and a state qualifier and a state semifinalist. Macy was a volleyball all-state honorable mention, a track and field 3-time triple jump qualifier and 2-time long jump qualifier, and a 4-time medalist in those jumps. She holds the triple jump school record and was part of a track and field team championship. Thank you, Norblake family, for your commitment to Kearney High School. Your dedication to the programs and classrooms throughout the year represented Kearney, Nebraska, and State athletics well. The legacy of the Norblake family will continue to impact our community, students, and athletes for many years to come. Please welcome the Norblake family into the Kearney High School Hall of Fame.
Please let it clap for several members of the Kearney High School Hall of Fame.
Honestly, what I expected coming into this one was like some quick whistles
Welcome back to the Kearney High School auditorium had wrestling today. Stage
The
duel.
gym.
I not sure how stage duel went today. I haven't got any updates. I will find that out and relay that information. But again, Kearney versus Grand Island here in the gym, 14-11 in favor of the Bearcats. Kearney's got the ball to start things off.
Yeah, it's deadlocked here. It seems like very low-scoring game so far.
Ben Johnson, three-pointer. No good. It's a good take. He had a wide-open shot. Might as well test it again.
Yeah, and if you're both teams, you got to let them fly. You've hit a couple of them. And the physicality inside, you just don't know how many you can take.
And he lays that one off the glass for two. Again, it's one of those situations that if you hit them part of the time, then they can. But if they're going to leave you wide open, you might as well take it.
Absolutely.
Grand Island driving inside. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Grand Island.
Yep, headed the other way. Good take by Mukoma. I think you honestly just got to flick the wrist a little bit harder, and then you got it. But either way, good take.
Jack Dahlgren back to Lee. Inside to Beckman. Over to Ben Johnson. Over to Lee. Carter Lee surveys the D. Decides what he wants to do. Lee behind the back. Loses the dribble. Gets to Ben Johnson. Down low. Looking for something to do. Kicks it out to Beckman. Over to Dahlgren. Dahlgren pump fakes the three. Doesn't get Mukoma to bite. Lee under 10 on the shot clock. Drives. Fade away. And he gets it to go.
Yeah,
18-11.
Nice jump shot by Lee. He stayed patient, waited for his moment. Those fadeaway jump shots, they're a tough shot. You got to shoot over the arm, and you got to use a lot more of your arm. So a nice shot by Lee.
Mukoma gets it over to Schowel. Guarded by Endorf. And blocked away by Endorf. Asher Endorf with the rejection.
Yeah, cold-blooded by Endorf. Got the rowdy section to start chanting. Grand Island just got a little bit quieter.
Kearney off to a good start like the first half. We'll see if they decide to stall out again or keep the pressure going. Three-pointer, no good. Endorf with the rebound, pushing the pace. He pulls things back, realizing he doesn't have numbers. Lee with it. Johnson gets it over to Beckman. Kearney working down a little bit low, trying to get that pressure inside. Adding numbers down low. Over to Endorf. Drops it, gets it over to Johnson. Back to Endorf. Out of bounds, last touch by Grand Island.
Yep, off the tip. Kearney not wanting to mess with it.
I think the Bearcats are starting to find a way through this 2-3 defense.
Like I said, at halftime, they're going to take their opportunity to find that as Beckman launches a three, no good.
I do agree they're finding something here, but we saw a hot start out of Kearney coming into this game, but then they had that slump.
Mukoma loses it. Jack Dahlgren takes it himself. Had Carter Lee trailing him on the opposite side. Good movement for Kearney. Way to fill.
I think we've uppered the pressure a little bit more.
No good on that one. Marsh can't get it to fall. Islanders still trying to get on the board this half. 3 minutes scoreless. Endorf gets down to Beckman on the baseline. Over to Dahlgren. Now to Lee. Three-pointer. You betcha! 23-11.
Carter Lee from way downtown in Grand Island calling for the timeout.
23-11 in favor of the Bearcats. Islanders have yet to score this half. A 30-second timeout has been called. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. 23-11. Kearney opening the scoring up here in the second half.
Yeah, and Kearney off to a hot start. Like you said, up 23-11. They've blown this game wide open, now up by 12 more points than Grand Island has on the board.
Straka in for the Bearcats. Mukoma. Marsh back to Mukoma. Inside to Showell. He doesn't get it to fall. Johnson gets the rebound.
Yeah, Shell frustrated about it, and you can't blame him. That was a good look inside. Something Kearney has, or Grand Island hasn't seen all game, and he just could not get it to go.
Dahlgren gets it outside to Lee. Three-pointer once again. No good. Straka up there for the defensive, trying to get that offensive board. However, goes to. And now that is a foul called. Lee. Bronick upset, saying Lee was in front of him, and Grand Island ran into him.
Yeah, that's tough. It's a bang-bang play. I see both coaches, I guess, point of view on it, and it's a bang-bang play, and it's whatever the ref sees first.
Some may say ball don't lie as Grand Island turns that one over. Dahlgren gets to Lee. Back to Dahlgren. Inside, doesn't get it to fall. Mukoma with the defensive board. And he gets that one to fall. And an and one. And Grand Island fans are on the court.
Yeah, they were quick to storm after that one. Was a nice take. He did take a shot, though. So now going to the line is going to be Colton Marsh. Marsh took a shot. At least when he fell down, he's got one to shoot. And yeah, but that Grand Island student section got to be careful, though.
That'll end with a technical if they can't control that.
They come any further. They're almost coming onto the blue.
They were on the blue.
Yep.
They come much farther than that. That'll be an easy technical to be handed out.
Yep, that's a quick tee.
Dahlgren with it. Over to Ben Johnson. Over to Lee. Johnson driving inside. Jumper, no good. Colt Straka gets the poke away. He gets the steal. Draped all over him is Mukoma. No foul called. They're going to let him play.
Yeah, these refs, they've really wanted to let these teams play, and that's what they plan to do.
That is a timeout called. Kearney has the lead 23-14. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. Dahlgren to inbound the ball for the Bearcats. 27 seconds on the shot clock. 3:10 on the game clock now. Dahlgren has it. Mukoma all over him. No foul called. I'm less surprised as the game has continued, but again, in almost any other game, that would be a foul called.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those on both sides. You know, you can't blame them.
Three-pointer by Mukoma.
Yeah, that's the way to get your scoring rolling for Grand Island. You find the opening and you take the three.
Ben Johnson, Dahlgren. Over to Lee. Now Johnson, three-pointer out of the corner, no good. Shaw, and they called that a foul. 23-17, 2:32. Ben Johnson called with the foul. Asher Endorf into the game to sub out Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Kearney going into that press now to try to make things even more difficult for Grand Island.
Oh.
Plummer gets it to Barrientos. Inside to Shaw. Blocked away by Dahlgren. Dahlgren showing off the vertical.
My goodness, does he have one at that? Elevating above the rest, the air up there A little bit hard to breathe, but he got the block.
Dahlgren three-pointer, no good, in and out. Rough three-pointer. Murray trying to get a hold of it. No one had control, so Kearney has ball now. Dahlgren driving inside, pump fakes, kicks out to Colt Straka. Three-pointer from the corner, no good.
Yep, Straka's three, no good. The Rowdies were lighting it up with the threes, ready to roll, and then it didn't fall.
Once again, though, the Bearcats they're getting cold.
Again, that run happening for Grand Island now. Barrientos, three-pointer, no good. Mukomo, and that is a foul called down low. 4 fouls now called on Kearney to Grand Island 0. That is Carter Lee's third foul.
Yeah, so Carter Lee now in foul trouble. And like you said, Grand Island coach had high praise for him as the best ball defender in the state, and Kearney has got to have him. He's an essential cog in this operation for the Bearcats.
Carter Lee did have an offensive foul with that, so not all defensive. As Justin Murray gets checked out as Ben Johnson comes in, 23-18.
So now the game's getting even closer now. Only by 5 with a chance to make it 4.
Mukoma, his second free throw is good. 23-19. I made a comment to this to Asher in a couple of games, but he didn't know what 23-19 meant. Bridger, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Monsters, Inc.
Of course.
Yeah, Asher didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, that's my password to my phone. Actually, it's 23-19. I'm kidding.
Kicked ball. For those of you that can't see, I did pick up his phone.
He did. He tried it. Yeah, it's 6.
I never got around to trying it because you spoiled the fun early.
It's it's 6 digits on here.
Oh.
If it was 4, it would be 23-19.
It's a good number.
It is. But right now, though,
it's 23-19 in Kearney.
We are good enough buddies to roll, man.
We're good at this.
The team chemistry we have.
Carter Lee gets to Johnson, back to Lee, over to Dahlgren. Lob, can't get there. Johnson got caught up in a defender.
Yeah, it was an interesting play. The lob wouldn't have worked either way, but you might as well try.
And Johnson over to Asher Endorf.
Oh!
Foul. He went up, doesn't get it. Big foul. He'll be shooting. Marsh feeling that one.
Yeah, that's a second shot Marsh is taking in the student section, wasting no time in letting him hear it. Marsh, like we said, he's ran his mouth a lot tonight. He's probably ran a marathon with it.
I can tell you, I have noticed a weird stretch. Maybe it's just the players, but the Kearney bench and coaches have been getting smack talked a lot some of these previous games I've been to.
They have.
And both of their hack losses, that was an issue. As Asher Endorf sinks the first free throw. Lincoln North Star had several players that like to talk to our bench.
I watched Kearney Catholic versus Holdridge, and the Kearney Catholic student section was John, at one of the Holdridge players. He hit a 3 and just held up a big old 3 right in front of the student section and stared at him. It was awesome.
Endorf sinks his second free throw, 25-19. Under 50 seconds left. 15, timeout called. As we now head to a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. That's a full timeout.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. Third quarter of action, just getting ready, about ready for the fourth. 44 seconds left, ticking away now. 24 seconds left on the shot clock. Marsh with it. Going to take some time. Standing next to half court. Kearney in the 2-3 zone. Shaw with it. Takes it out. Kearney back to man. Mukoma lost the ball. Ben Johnson in transition, 20 seconds.
Oh.
Over the back, Colt Straka doesn't get it. Murray. What an eruption of noise there.
Yes, it was.
And a block and what a rejection.
Oh!
What a rejection.
I think they just teed up Grand Island.
They might have. Grand Island has lost it. Grand Island stormed the court.
Yeah, after that they stormed the court, and that you can't do that if you're. I don't care who you are, you can't storm the court. This is still at the end of the day. This is still just a basketball game, and safety is the #1 priority. And when you storm a court, you cannot be safe. I'm not even from Kearney. This is just simply player safety at the end of the day.
That is twice now this has happened with Grand Island. No good.
Heading back.
Here we are about tired of all of this.
Oh!
That is twice now that has happened.
It is.
I'm going to take a moment. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in a bit. I'm going to take a moment. You guys can watch the half court shot. We'll be back after a bit.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. I've taken a deep breath. I'm better.
You all got to see that amazing shot.
Yes, a half-court shot donated back to the basketball program, won by an elementary school student.
She didn't even know what she had there.
And I'm not sure what's happening.
Clock
a buzzer.
issues.
Again, I apologize for lashing out against Grand Island. But there are things that they have done today. They have said stuff to me specifically.
Yeah.
As they just had to confiscate a sign that still got held up in the section anyway. They have stormed the court twice. I apologize, but
yeah,
this has just been a rough day.
And at the end of honestly, at the end of the day, it's just a game, and player safety and the safety of everybody at the game and the well-being of everyone matters more than the game.
And when this isn't the first time things like this have happened with Grand Island, I think
that's the big thing.
Tempers become a little bit short.
Turnover by Grand Island, though, and still a full quarter to play and only 8-point game. Low scoring, but still a lot of basketball to be played.
Carter Lee with it. Ash gets down to Trey Beckman, coming off that injury. He missed yesterday with sprained ankle. Asher Endorf. Fouled. Nope, they'll say jump ball. Kearney fans not happy with that call, but they'll have the ball anyway.
Yep, so Kearney can have the ball on the jump ball. That's why I don't think they were as mad. Excuse me. You're still getting the ball back. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some.
It's one of those calls you could have seen going either way.
Yep.
Yeah, in a game like this, yes, that makes sense. If it was a different game,
yeah.
Carter Lee with three-pointer, no good. In this game, it's been played both ways, so it's not necessarily an issue. No good. Carter Lee with the foul, though. That'll be his fourth foul.
Yeah, Carter Lee, and it's one of those things, I saw the intention, but just, God, it's one of those things that it's unnecessary to do, especially with 3 fouls. Let him get the 2-point bucket. He already had it tough going in. Just don't touch him. Let him go, because now you're going to have to head out with 4 fouls, and you're going to be your team's best defender, too. So that's going to be a loss for Kearney. But coming in, Colt Straka. This could be his shining moment.
I would say Colt Straka, who keeps working himself in off the bench, is also one of the better on-ball defenders that we have at this school. He gets all over the place.
You could almost say a good 6-man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would say. And also, again, this game wasn't streamed, but against Lincoln High at Lincoln High, Colt Straka had offensive board after offensive board and was the reason for a while they were still in that game.
The hustle plays.
He is not necessarily going to be the high scorer of anything, but he is going to be the reason Kearney can still stay in some games.
He's going to work till the game's over.
Johnson, corner 3. You betcha, 30-20 now.
Ben Johnson lighting it up from downtown, now up by double digits again to the Bearcats. Off to a sprint so far in the fourth.
That's what I like about Ben Johnson. He can play a center, which he can also get the alley-oops and all the dunks and the layups, but he can also go on the three-pointer outside.
Yeah, Ben Johnson has the probably largest range out of anyone on this team. He's hit from the volleyball line.
I watched that.
Colt Straka gets the steal officially. Beckman has it. Gets it back to Straka. Over to Dahlgren. Johnson back to Dahlgren.
But Johnson, I think the best way to describe him would be the Swiss Army knife of this Kearney team.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Good all-around player.
Mm-hmm.
On offense, he can do anything. Beckman, three-pointer. No good, just short. Grand Island bringing things. Marsh with it. Cutting inside. Outside to Shaw. Three-pointer. He's got it. Bearcat lead cut down to 7.
Yeah, big-time 3 from Shaw. You got to return after the 3 from Kearney, and that's the best way to do it. A 3 for a 3.
Ben Johnson. Back to Dahlgren at the top of the key. Johnson. Over to Dahlgren. Dahlgren pass fakes. Gets it inside. A lot of contact. Doesn't get the foul call, but he gets the fall.
Yeah, I was asking for it. He didn't get it, but he made the shot. So, I mean, once again, you win some, you lose some.
Full court pressure coming. Beckman gets a hand on that one. Johnson, timeout called. Bronick sprinting down that court.
Good heads up.
I tell you what, he is. Johnson got on that one, and that is probably the fastest I've ever seen.
He's almost as hyped up as the players.
Yeah, Bronick gets up with them. As someone who's played flag football against Bronick, I tell you, he gets fast. But that's a full timeout called. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network. Bearcats have the lead, 32-29.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. 32-23. Kearney has the lead as we break from this timeout.
Yeah, and it's been one heck of a game here, Mitchell. Tensions are flaring. The threes have hit the physical plays. We've seen them. We've loved them. And now 5:16 left. Kearney leading by 9. If Grand Island wants to make the comeback, now is as good of time as ever to start.
5:16 left in the game.
What an
9-point
atmosphere
lead.
we have, though.
An incredible atmosphere. And Asher Endorf inbounds the ball to Colt Straka. Jack Dahlgren has it on the far wing. Endorf back to Dahlgren. Pass tipped. Dahlgren gets on it though. Inside to Straka. Back to Dahlgren. Over to Straka. Now to Endorf. Looking around. Pass faking. All over him. Dahlgren inside. Ben Johnson. Three-pointer. No good. Out of bounds. They'll say a foul. Maybe? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Foul called.
Foul call.
I want to know what it's on.
And Marsh getting a talking to from the Kearney High AD, telling him he needs to back away. That is the only time that our AD Ryan Hogue has had to stand in front of the student section is when Grand Island comes in front of them.
Yeah, it's been quite the game. Tempers have flared, and in a rivalry like this, we wouldn't expect anything else.
Kearney High student section behaving themselves quite well.
They have been well behaved this game.
Justin
give it to
Murray
him.
doesn't get that pass, although he gets it there after the loose ball. Injury timeout? Nope. Kearney High calls a full timeout. So, with that being said, Kearney's going to have 2 timeouts, I believe, left. They lead 32-23. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. 32-23. Bearcats in the lead.
It's been quite the 2 games tonight, Mitchell. That girls' game was exciting, Kearney inevitably running away with it, but this boys' game, this one stayed close. 9 points, 4:15 left. It's still anybody's game.
Jack Dahlgren gets it. That's a foul called immediately
Yeah, that
on
one.
Marsh. And Marsh is going to let it be heard from the student section after he started talking trash to them.
Yeah. And Marsh, once again, if you want to talk the talk, do it, but then you got to be ready.
To walk the walk.
The chemistry is on point.
On fleek, as one might say.
Oh, absolutely.
Marsh bringing this one up.
Yeah,
for the Bearcats.
Kearney just was not able to capitalize on it. They tried the play to get it in the post. Nothing coming.
Dahlgren gets that one off the steal. Now, I'm not an expert on basketball rules, but if someone out there would like to let me know on this, tweet at me at Mitch on Sports. Let me know if I'm right on this. But even if it's a loose ball from like a bad pass, it still counts as a steal. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. I can take criticism, trust me. I get it all the time. That's a foul called. And we are now seeing fouls called left and right.
Yeah.
We have taken a shift. 32-23. 2 fouls called in the last 2 possessions on Grand Island. That's their 3rd foul.
Yeah, and you know, I kind of thought that we may have seen this simply because we saw the tensions flared. Grand Island student section rushed the court. And then you had Marsh jawing there. Once the tensions get that high, I'm sure the refs probably had the conversation of, hey, we got to get this game under control, and they're trying to do that through calling
especially towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Last year, the Rowdies stormed the court, walked up to Grand Island. I know no physical altercations happened. I know stuff was thrown at them, but from Grand Island, but of course, but again, they would like to avoid and bring tensions down before
Yep.
that point.
I agree.
Johnson takes it, drives. Endorf now. Doesn't get any foul called.
Yeah, Asher Endorf, good bucket, just maybe a little bit too high off the glass, but good defensive play by Mukoma.
Mukoma was there to try and draw the charge. Again, not a charge call, not a body foul, so nothing there. Three-pointer is good by Schowel.
Man, Schowel has hit 2 of them now. He's kind of been the big spark for this team.
The sophomore has been the reason that Grand Island is still in this game. 32-26, 6-point lead for the Bearcats.
Now with this time running down, though, the Bearcats, they're going to use every second of that shot clock.
They can, and they will.
But at this point, though, it's only a 6-point deficit. You hit one more 3 or even hit a 2, and right there, it's only a 2-possession game.
Deep 3, Ben Johnson. You betcha!
That's what I was going to
From
say.
the volleyball line once again, 35-26. Leave it to Ben Johnson to get that down.
That's what I was going to say. Bearcats need to convert on these possessions.
Three-pointer, Mukoma. Jinx.
Take that back. You owe me it back. But either way, Ben Johnson, call it an ace, call it a 3. You can't tell from where he's at. Mukoma goes down to the other end and goes, you do that, I'll do this. Just again, wrapped back up at 6.
He's on a hot streak.
And I tell you why, this is why the shot clock was implemented. As something winds its way up on the court.
I don't know if that was from our student section or...
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't see anything thrown.
Hogue is going to walk over, double check with them. But again, this is why the shot clock was implemented.
Yep.
So this can't go all game. This can go 35 seconds tops, unless there's another
Absolutely.
rebound. Endorf trying to get away inside. Up and under. Doesn't get the shot to fall. He gets the foul though.
Yep, these are big free throws coming down at the end of this game. 2 free throws here. You put it up to 8 points, and just every point matters if you're Kearney in lengthening the distance between Kearney and Grand Island. Grand Island, we've seen it before. They like to have their kick at the end of these quarters, so Kearney not looking to get kicked on and lose this race.
35-29. Endorf with 2 free throws. His first one is good. 36-29. 1:28 left in the game.
Carter Lee back in the game. 4 fouls, but 1:28 left. Good choice. Let him ride.
They give you 5 for a reason.
That's the spirit, champ.
Something my dad says all the time. And that's the second one knocked down. Asher Endorf goes 2 for 2.
Yeah, so now 8 points. Grand Island, minute 25 left. They haven't been able to score very quickly, so not that you want to be in a hurry, but you want to be in a hurry.
They need to pick up the pace. They cannot afford to be standing around like this. Kearney playing good off-ball defense too. Cole Stronka there specifically. Take away their prime offense options and make them waste time.
It's also smart that they're just letting lead. He's just sitting in a corner, just guarding their one man.
2-pointer, deep 2. Good move.
Yeah, Mukoma came in. He got the 3. Timeout called by Grand Island, and they're right back in it.
As Bronick upset that they got the timeout called, a full timeout called. Kearney has the lead by 6, under a minute to go. Full timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. As we now head back to the action, 57.8 seconds left. Kearney has the ball. Full court pressure likely coming an update on Lincoln East that ended a while ago. Lincoln East won the duel 50-18. As we now finish up basketball. Again, that was against Lincoln East.
Yeah, Grand Island, you're down at this point. If you don't get the 10-second call here, you have enough fouls that you can afford to foul.
And that is a timeout called, saving them from the 10-second call. As Grand Island is confused about something. It's a full timeout. We'll keep it here, though. 48.5 seconds left. As there's a full timeout. Again, Kearney has to do their best to waste time like they can, but still stay effective. It's only a 6-point game, so they still need to be effective with their scoring, but take their time. There's only a couple possessions left.
Mitchell, I really think at this point, if you're Kearney, you keep doing what's worked. Obviously, you're not going to chuck up the 3 right away, but you cannot start playing at this point. You can't start playing to not lose. You have got to keep playing to win, and you're only up by 6. That's only 2 possessions, 2 threes. Mukoma, he's heated up. Showell, he's heated up. If you're Kearney, you're not out of the doghouse yet. You're merely peeking out the door. So if you've got to keep playing. 48.5 seconds, a lot of time for a lot of opportunities for Grand Island, and nobody is out of the doghouse yet here in Kearney.
Again, yes. Again, we have 25 seconds left on the shot clock, 48.5 seconds left. Kearney with the ball. Going to need to do the best to waste time that they can and make Grand Island take as long as they can and get the worst shots possible.
Well, yeah, and what's really going to make this interesting here is Grand Island, they still have 2 more fouls to give before Kearney even heads into bonus with a good amount of time to really make these fouls count.
Carterly with it, working across the top. Full court, half court pressure defense.
Coach for Grand Island, he was calling for no foul, but
and that's a foul called there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he'd be calling for no fouls. I mean, I don't know. He's obviously got an idea.
He's banking on good defense, no points for the Bearcats, and responding quickly on offense.
Well, yeah, and at this point, if you're Grand Island, you have got to put up the 3
The
as
shot
fast
clock
as you
is
can.
turned off. So Kearney doesn't need to shoot. Grand Island has to foul. I don't think Grand Island realizes that. Now they do. And the Grand Island coach, I don't have his name. I'll grab a roster here. Jeremiah Slough. Getting into his players a little bit, telling them to look at the clock.
Well, and now at
Use
this
your
point,
brain.
what you got to do, if Grand Island 1 timeout left on the clock at this point, what you got to do for Grand Island, you got to get a turnover here, hit a 3, and then you have got, actually, if you score the first 3, within it being, like, if you're outside of the 5 seconds, then you don't call the timeout. But here's the tough thing. If, say, you hit a 3, and there's 4 seconds left on the clock, Mitchell, Kearney doesn't have to pass it in. It's game over.
Yes.
That's it. But if you can get it where you can save that timeout after you've hit 1 miraculous 3, you have a chance to hit the second. But with these free throws and 17.8 seconds left, if even one of these is made, that will be it from Kearney.
I will say, though, we're entering the game inside the game. Got to make free throws.
Yep,
Endorf
absolutely.
missed that one.
See, now you got to put it up right now.
Plummer, no good. And that,
Yep, that's
Dahlgren has the ball, and that will be the game. Kearney survives Grand Island at home, and the Woj continues for a 3rd straight year.
Yeah, big-time win for Kearney. Like we said, the big rivalry game here coming in. Grand Island versus Kearney. Kearney now has won the last 3 straight years between these 2 teams. And Mitchell, a little bit low scoring, but the intensity, the anger, the power, the fight, it was all there, and everybody got what they paid for tonight.
The Grand Island student section holding up the football score, like I said at the beginning, holding it up because they couldn't hang with the Bearcats.
You gotta appreciate just the extreme competitiveness. I don't know, you're from Class A. I'm sitting here at lowly Class D2. I love it to death, but These Class A rivalries, man, I want to come back. You may be annoyed, but I loved every second of that.
This is the, like, one of, besides maybe the Millard West and Millard North, I think it's Millard North. Maybe it's Millard South.
Millard North, Millard West, massive rivalry.
That Millard has
You know
some
what
big
we
ones.
can do to fix your problem?
Trans-
Answer here. Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
just saying.
There's an easy fix for this. I don't want to hear any complaining.
There is. I know my grandma's listening to this right now, and I'm not sure she wants me to transfer up to Kearney. I live a block away from her. I wouldn't get to see her until the weekend.
You can go back for the weekends. It'd be great. Actually, you could go back every day if you really wanted to.
I mean, I could. That's a lot of gas. That's a 45 minute drive every day.
EV,
EV.
Go with the EV. Charge it
Yeah.
every day.
But these are the faces behind the voices. I know even prettier than what you could have imagined. That is Mitchell Brandt, and I am Bridger Cruz. And Mitchell, thank you for bringing me on here tonight. Also, coming in with us, we got Kyler and then Asher as well. It was a full house here up in the broadcast
Kyler,
booth.
our 6th grader that we brought on yesterday.
He's picking up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He is.
He's taken Asher's job, and Asher's been here for 3 years.
He was
And
running
anyway.
all the scoreboard.
Asher's job has been taken by the 6th grader, just to get that clear. And we appreciate it. Kyler has done a good job. I know.
Thank you.
He's done quite the job, performed well. But now after this, what is Kearney's next matchup?
Oh,
Sorry, I thought
it's been a busy week, I tell you that.
I didn't want to put you on the spot like that. But either way, Grand Island will go down to 2-7, while Kearney advances to 9-3. And this one was one everybody had circled. I had circled on my calendar from football season.
Yes, because we told you this was a game you had to go to.
The end of the Millard South Kearney game. And also, I am not a curse. I guess we haven't figured out playoffs yet. But either way, at the end of that one, everybody told me here, Rob Goff, Mitchell, Asher, you got to come to Kearney Grand Island. It lived up to the hype. Maybe low scoring, but low intensity was not a thing here tonight at Kearney High.
I can say it's up there for one of the best rivalries in the state.
Oh, I would agree. This is definitely one of the best. And just the attention that it brought, everybody so excited. Kearney High filling up for this one, and it's only going to get better every year to come.
All right, for your next matchup for Kearney, they're playing Asher's favorite school.
Elkhorn South?
No,
Lincoln
try again.
East.
Lincoln East. There you go. Asher's favorite school.
Asher's favorite school.
They beat him in tennis. He's not happy about it. Don't remind him about it.
Just mute him. Yep.
Anyway, Kearney took a good win today as Grand Island slowly leaves. Their student section taking quite a bit of time to dissipate. And anyway, Kearney takes an somewhat easy win as the game continued. It got pretty tight-knit right at the beginning, but Kearney able to escape Grand Island at home for the win. We will be back on Saturday for the girls basketball showcase. 8:30 to 8:30 is game start times. 8:30 a.m. is the first scheduled start. 8:30 p.m. is the last scheduled start. Kearney girls play at that 8:30 p.m.
You can also check us out on our other website. Me and Benaiah, we're streaming swimming.
Oh, yes, there is swimming. We will have 2 streams going on Saturday. So there is swimming. You can tune into, I think, about 10-ish.
I believe so.
Roughly about 10. So, again, plenty to watch Saturday if you want to come watch some more athletics.
A very busy day at Kearney High.
But with that being said, we're going to sign off for the night. I'm Mitchell with Bridger, Kyler, Asher, and all of our wonderful crew behind the scenes. Thank you for watching.